Ah, hello there. How about a Tin Master special for a little pick-me-up? No machine ground beans here. Well, yes, I may be an intelligent machine, but I still grind my coffee beans by hand. No machine ground beans here. Well, yes, sometimes stopping to take a break can help you go further.
If you need wanna be my research subject?
A mission? Take me along. If you need help, call me anytime.
Watch your blind spots. I'll make it painless.
Dark Elf Cafe.
Did you have nothing?
A mission? Take me along.
Baldur's Gate 3 is fundamentally made up of a fire rock, physical strength, and arcane magic so that you can push people to their death. As a human being, this is the closest I have ever come to self-actualization. However, if you're not in the 99th percentile of the opposite spectrum, then
If you need help, call me anytime.
playing the game as a delusionist who destroys its enemies by severing the
A mission? Take me along.
So that I can effectively gaslight people into believing that I did it, just shoot them in the neck with a crossbow. Can I single-handedly skyrocket the price of antipsychotics? Or will the savage world of Baldur's Gate stop me in my tracks? There's only one way to know. But first, I'll work on my sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Display. They offer a paralyzingly wide selection of high-quality metal posters that you can melt on your wall in just 20 seconds with no power tools. How is this possible? With the power of electromagnetism. I did have to pronounce that word phonetically, but I can assure you that the melting process is much easier. Simply open your package, admire the giant yellow dust
Let's rotate.
My turn.
Okay.
So I approached this big bowl of goo and rolled to inspect it. I did a one and learned absolutely nothing. This immediately sends me into a blind rage, and I begin smashing the bowl with my staff. It explodes and nearly kills me. Very nice. I might not understand my surroundings, but I do at least understand my spells. Right now, I have several sleep spells, some basic illusions, a plastic cup of hydroiodic acid, and the most dangerous of all, a spell that covers my enemies in grease. These will be our tools of survival. Adventuring a little further into the ship, I came across a man who appeared to be having a very relaxing nap. Unfortunately for him, he made the mistake of falling asleep with his brain completely exposed. So naturally, I grabbed it with both hands and squeezed it as hard as I possibly could. This killed the man. Proceeding along the walkway, we encountered Lizelle, a fighter who joins our party without my consent. After several hours of trying to push her off a cliff, I eventually give in and accept her existence. It's probably for the best, because we run into a group of imps, and I quickly realized that Rurak is not well equipped for combat, so he will need a capable team to help him avoid immediate and painful death. After violently dismantling the local wildlife, we continue into some kind of antechamber where we find Shadowheart, a paladin with a remarkable penchant for being racist. We'll need a healer, so I decided to free her from this pod. With two female companions, my meta quest of creating a harem based around my self-insert is almost complete. We just need one more, so we venture forth in search of another party member while also looting several dead bodies. Because remember, it's not grave robbing if they're not buried yet. Eventually, we wandered into the control room where a squid man is fighting some kind of devil. After blinking and rubbing my eyes several times, I was still confused by the situation, so I settled on grabbing the controls and crashing the ship to the side of a mountain. Despite a decent degree of nearly decapitating me, I survived, and so did Shadowheart. I began scouring the beach in search of survival items. Mostly, I found random herbs, but I also stumbled upon a divine artifact of immeasurable power. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Cowboy Hat Rurak. We proceeded northward in an attempt to orient ourselves in this world, which was when we were ambushed by a group of intellect eaters. They hit very hard, and I'd like to tell you I fought the good fight and killed them, but I didn't. However, upon reloading, I had much more success because, in an attempt to lubricate my enemies, I accidentally started a massive police fire that flamed over their lives. My lack of fire safety caused us to level up and win the fight, which finally allowed me to specialize from a wizard to illusionist. Right now, our spells are roughly on the level of a high school magician, but as we progress, we'll eventually manifest several reality-destroying powers. After a little more wandering, we stumbled upon a highly effeminate man named Mysterium, and I immediately began sizing him up as the third member of my harem. Unfortunately, he surprised me by initiating a Lords of the Locker Room style wrestling match to challenge my authority as the Discord admin of the group. Luckily, I was able to headbutt him into submission and he joined the team. It's been a long day, so I decided to rest at camp and spend the night attempting to seduce Shadowheart with my naked body. This was a critical failure on all fronts. And it all good. However, we didn't find either of those things. Instead, we came across some kind of American citizen who had fallen over their mobility scooter. This is widely considered a terminal condition for them. I could attempt to help him, but let me tell you something. When you look at this handsome young man, you may see a complex person with hopes and dreams, but me, I see nothing more than experience points. Numbers I can collect to grow stronger. So naturally, I stomped on the man's head and collected 35 XP for my party. After a little more running, we came across the gate to some kind of outpost. However, we aren't the only ones here, because a gang of goblins is attempting to break into the settle. I decided to help fight them off, and a battle broke out. Rurak starts things heroically by bleeding to death within the first 30 seconds of combat. Luckily, most of the goblins are distracted by the human NPCs, and we managed to overpower these archers. By this point, Rurak is back up, and he casts a cloud of asbestos on this group melee over here, which effectively turns it into the most chaotic mosh pit imaginable, because everyone inside is blind and swinging clubs around with murderous intent. With our enemies lacking the ability to see, we were able to pick them up with ranged weapons and complete the battle. After looting the goblins, we followed the humans inside to learn about what just happened. Turns out there's two main factions in this area: these people and a society of goblins that are hell-bent on killing them. The town leader appeared to be upset with this man for leading goblins to his camp, so in an effort to ingratiate myself with him, I rolled a d20 to hit the man as hard as I possibly could. Success. Following this, we found ourselves a vendor, which was very fortunate because I'm currently carrying around several estate sales worth of pot lids and human skulls. After selling them to the vendor, I decided to perform the ultimate illusion spell, which is stealing back all of my items along with the rest of his money. Truly, Rurak is an unrivaled sorcerer. As we prepare to leave town, we remembered a druid healer that might be able to help remove our brain parasites. Unfortunately, they've been captured by goblins, so we'll have to find a way to break them out. But first, we're going to need a lot more XP. As soon as I'm outside the city limits, I dropped all fours like a feral beast and began trying to sniff out even a morsel of experience. Eventually, my senses lead me to this cave. I won't lie. The first time I explored it, I failed to notice these gigantic threatening statues, and I paid for that dearly. But on the second attempt, I did much better, deactivating the statues and sneaking up on a group of goblins discussing a druid they recently kidnapped. I decided to start the fight bombastically by pushing one of them off this 20-foot ledge. After that, Rurak stuck around the flank and coated our enemies in a thick layer of grease, which caused them to slip and fall, thus wasting their turn and allowing Assyrian to start assassinating them. Eventually, they started fighting back, but they soon experienced a certified British moment when Rurak ran up to them and threw a cup of acid at their face. With the goblins dead, I decided to rush to the aid of the man they kidnapped. He's alive, but seriously injured, so I made sure to steal everything out of his inventory and then use Shadowheart to heal him. I was hoping he would be the healer that could help us, but after scouring his Wikipedia page, it looks like he's just some random jackass, which means his ultimate purpose in life is to be forcefully converted to experience and incorporated into my XP bar. Initially, he didn't take his proposition very well, but eventually, a well-placed crossbow bolt to the forehead made him see things my way. Following the cave to the other end led us back into town. While I was here, I found a goblin walking a cage along with a woman attempting to kill it. Bravely, Rurak stepped in the way, and by standing there intimidatingly and critically failing several dice rolls, we were able to convince the lady to leave the goblin alone. Her name is Zaza, and she's telling me there's some kind of witch doctor that can remove my parasite. Apparently, if I release her, she'll meet me at the goblin camp and set me up with a free doctor's visit. I decide she's either telling the truth, which is great, or she's lying, and I can convert her to experience points, which is arguably even better. So I let her go. Now, from what I gather, the goblins are a pretty serious faction, and I'll need to become stronger in case they betray me. So our XP quest continues. After some brief exploration, we find Lizelle trapped in a cage with two tieflings deciding how they want to kill her. I approach them, and by utilizing a series of overtly racist remarks, Rurak was able to convince them that she's a dangerous wild animal and that they should run away. In hindsight, I probably should have bludgeoned them to death and absorbed their life force. Anyway, I let Lizelle down, which means the etchy arc of my journey can truly begin. But first, I need to level her up as a barbarian. Why would I do this? For one simple reason. She can now pick people up and swing them around as melee weapons, or even just throw them across the room like cheap furniture. This level up is well timed, because not far down the road, we stumbled upon some abandoned ruins, where we were confronted by a man who appeared to be battling the late stage.
Come on! Wanna be my research subject?
Is that day, because he just told me he's a treasure hunter, at which point I ingested every drug in my inventory and attacked him viciously. He called his friends for help, but we were very dangerous creature with an healer and rope. I would be intimidated by this. I back to his and smashing with his friend like a sledgehammer. This brings a lot of blood, and not here. Apart from that, we're back to
your weakness.
Come on!
Okay. Go ahead.
My turn!
This is Steve at Limelight Automotive, the highest quality window tint facility in Rochester, New York. You want to get your car looking right? Give me a call. 585-500-80.
After just getting our way through that, we managed to walk our way into the dungeon chamber, at which point I wasted no time in locating the loot room and accidentally summoning an undead army in the process. It's not looking good. However, the only note I have in my script for this part is Lae'zel Fox. And as it turns out, she certainly does. No one else with weaponized icicles could stop us. So with the room cleared out, we can now enter the treasure chamber. This was where we met Withers. I do not like Withers. He's some kind of mysterious undead lich who wields immense power. Despite this, he insists on charging me $200 every time I want to edit my skill tree. I don't even think he uses one. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want me to have it. Absolute dickhead. Apart from this, we found an amulet of lost voices, which allows us to speak to a dead humanoid. Now, even in death, our enemies cannot escape us. Eventually, we made our way out of the dungeon and walked down the road to find a man stuck in some kind of nether portal. I voted out because I am a lawful good character. His name is Gale, and we'll be using him as a backup companion in case any of us get crushed by a boulder or otherwise die permanently. A little further down the road, I came across a bloody pig, which I wouldn't have even considered suspicious until Asarian ran after me, also covered in blood, and desperately attempted to convince me he had nothing to do with it. Thank you, Asarian. That was very subtle. After ignoring Asarian's attempt at character development, we moved down the road to find two people in a panic. Apparently, their friend is sick and he needs help. I tell him I'm a doctor and roll for a medicine check. I succeed. In reality, I don't know anything about medicine, but I am very good at lying. The man is clearly conscious, breathing, and relatively stable. So I tell his friends he's going to die and they need to leave right now. Once they're gone, I snap his neck and smash a barrel over his head because I am a lawful good character. After helping myself with the contents of his inventory, we proceed forward, looking for a goblin camp. I think someone gave me directions at one point, but I opted to ignore them and instead wander into this dangerous-looking cave. I also chose to ignore the several dead bodies I found inside the cave. This was perhaps a miscalculation on my part because the next thing I found was a gigantic owlbear that had a very positive opinion about mauling me to death. Ruvac rolled to intimidate. Massive failures. Luckily, we were able to use the power of suggestion to penetrate the bear's mind and convince it to take a nap for her. I was hoping this would de-escalate the situation. Boy, was I wrong. Apparently, he didn't appreciate having his mind hijacked because on the next turn, his eyes turned red and he started mangling Lae'zel like a piece of cheap meat. Through an exceptional amount of physical violence, we were eventually able to bring him down. But then we had to confront the real final boss, which was an overwhelming sense of guilt because the bear's cub showed up and started making me feel pretty awkward about beating its mother to death. Whenever I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I solve it as quickly as possible by killing either myself or the other person. So we went ahead with the latter option. Overall, we received a modest amount of experience, a new piece of armor, and a broken spear. All we had to do was destroy a family for it. Very nice. Following this, we made our way across a bridge, which led to the gates of the Goblin Village. Unfortunately, it looks like those damn goblins killed a group of adventurers out front. You may be tempted to ask why I am covered in the blood of those adventurers, and also why I have all of their belongings in my inventory. In response to that, I would say, you asked me questions. Now let's move on. I decided to go to camp because not killing a group of innocent adventurers in cold blood really fires a guy out. Unfortunately,
I'll help you, Lynn. The lunch is on you.
Diseases by sucking my blood. So obviously, I had no choice but to stake him through the heart with a tree branch. It was traumatic, but with the traitor defeated, we could all rest easy. With Asarian incapacitated, we'll be needing a replacement. So I rotated Gale into the party and leveled him up as a druid. He specializes in biological weapons such as carcinogenic fungus, meaning he has access to several spore-based attacks, in addition to some basic shapeshifting and the ability to whip people mercilessly with an electrical cable. Truly a vital member of society. With that settled, I took our group to the Goblin Village. One of the guards tried to give us a hard time, but by standing there charismatically and cycling through a wide range of facial expressions, Ruvac was able to convince her to let us in. After some meandering, I came across a group of goblins that had overpowered a gnome and climbed into a rapidly rotating windmill. As a self-hating gnome, I immediately became violently jealous that I hadn't come up with this idea myself, and so I decided to take action. Rather than confronting the goblins, we slipped off to the right, and I had Lae'zel throw Ruvac over a wall so that he could sneak behind the windmill and cast Crown of Madness on the main goblin. This caused him to become hostile to his own friends, who then proceeded to kick the shit out of him. By the time Ruvac joined the fight, the goblin boss was pleading for his life. Didn't work. We grabbed his axe for Lae'zel and extorted some money out of the gnome before continuing on our journey. While I was coercing our gnome friend, he mentioned something about a treasure cache hidden in town. I thought I saw it at the bottom of this well, so I jumped in head first. It opened up into a large cavern, and I made the unfortunate mistake of attacking this web sack, which alerted every enemy in the cave to our presence. Mostly, this consisted of gigantic spiders, but there were also a few ettercaps, which are hulking creatures with massive talons. They also have some fantasy version of scabies, which they can transmit to you if you enter melee range. For this, my problem solving consisted of using Gale to entangle our enemies, transform into a honey badger, burrow deep under the earth's crust, and then summon a giant ball of magma that started rolling around and pulverizing anything that moved. Unconventional? Yes. Effective? Also yes. Despite battling through a series of man-eating spiders, I still couldn't find any substantial treasure, so we ventured deeper into the cave, which was when we found this big fella. Judging by his substantial girth and the fact the game just auto-saved, I'm going to say he's the boss of the dungeon. If anything in this decrepit pit would have loot, it's this guy. So I opted to start the fight by shooting him with an acid arrow. This did 8 damage out of his 125 points of health. Not good. Luckily, we were able to use a fireball to destroy the bridge he was standing on, sending him falling 100 feet down and taking 36 damage. This took him out of commission for a few turns. However, the other spiders started working their way towards us. Now this is slightly concerning. Actually, never mind. They also ended their turn on the bridge, and after having a grenade thrown at them, they're really not looking so good. Now we did sustain some damage in this engagement, but luckily one of Gale's abilities is that he can use his ungodly magical powers to summon a handful of strawberries and eat them. So we did that and gained most of our health back. Thank you, Gale. That was delicious. In less exciting news, the boss teleported back out, hatched some spider eggs, and then ran straight at us. Once again, ending his turn on the only available bridge. You can guess how that went. With the boss now taking the room temperature challenge, we just have to deal with the spiderlings that are swarming Lae'zel. To accomplish this, I introduced them to an ability called Gargantuan Cleave. This was a social interaction they did not survive. Following this, we looted some poison robes from the boss and made our way back to the surface. It was here where we found the 5th member of our party, Rodney. You see, Rodney is a gigantic treasure chest that I am sadly unable to open. I am, however, able to put him in Lae'zel's inventory and use him as a 300-pound weight to crush my enemies. Think of it like a very rudimentary kind of Pokemon. Rodney. Now, feeling a bit cocky with our new party member, I decided to approach a group of ogres. They politely explained that they'd absolutely love to cave in my skull and consume my flesh. I seriously considered their proposition and determined that it was not my advantage, so I deceived them, believing I had gang affiliations, and they left me alone. In fact, they loved me so much that they gave me a horn that I could blow to summon them into battle. I cannot properly articulate just how tempting it was to summon them into town to beat the shit out of these annoying children. But if you played the game, you'll already know. After this, we met up with Zaza, and she took us to the leader of the Goblin camp. Her name is Mintara, and she's absolutely pissed at Zaza for bringing us here, because she can tell we have brain parasites, and apparently that's a big deal. Zaza tried to explain that she didn't know, and again, I had to battle my intrusive thoughts of hurting innocent people. Mintara eventually calms down and proposes that I betray my tiefling friends and help her raid their village. I approach this from the perspective of an illusionist. What could be a better trick than the illusion of trust? The tieflings think I'm their friend, but in reality, it's a cheap magic trick, and instead, I'm going to summon Big Mo, who's going to sodomize them. So I told Mintara I'm in, and she rewarded me with a dagger that would be really great for Asterion if he wasn't currently, decomposing. After this, I did some exploring in the village, which was when I found a bard named Ebola. From what I could gather, no one likes Bola, and in an effort to fit in, I decided to throw Rodney at his head. Turns out I read the room wrong, because after giving Bolo brain damage, everyone in town started stabbing us to death. This necessitated a reload for obvious reasons. This time, instead of giving Bolo CTE, I just talked with him, but unfortunately, the guards didn't know this, and they decided to take him to prison for mandatory cock and ball torture. For some reason, I felt personally responsible for this, and visions of his mangled dick weighed heavily on my conscience, so I decided to help him escape. After some sneaking around, I found the cell he was being held in. I attempted to persuade the guard to let him go, but she wouldn't budge. Shadowheart locked the door. I had Lae'zel flee the garden too. However, there are plenty of patrols that come through this area, and I won't lie, this looks pretty incriminating. I decided to hide the body by stuffing it into Lae'zel's inventory. In real life, this is not a solution I would recommend. What we really need is to get rid of the body, and even better, to blame someone else for our crimes. So we went down the hall to another prison cell, where we found a man being tortured by a goblin. After removing the man's toenail, I convinced the goblin that I had better interrogation techniques, and he decided to leave for a smoke break. The man was understandably upset by this, but I leaned in and told him that I'm actually here to save him. This was a lie. Instead, I took the body out of Lae'zel's inventory and threw it at him, covering him in blood and framing him for the murder. Now this is a foolproof plan, I thought to myself, but unfortunately, a guard saw the whole thing, and we cannot risk having witnesses. So I took the second guard, compressed his body into Lae'zel's inventory, and then framed the man again for yet another murder. Things are getting out of control here, so I decided to flee the scene of the crime. I got all the way out to Goblin Village, and halfway across this bridge before I realized I forgot to even save Bola. All I actually accomplished was training an innocent man for a double homicide. I could go back and actually rescue Bola, but like, I'm already halfway across the bridge. Anyway, I decided...
What?
If you need help, call me anytime. A mission? Take me along.
I decided to travel to the wetlands for one final quest before returning my friends at the village. Our journey to the wetlands consisted primarily of us stepping on hundreds of landmines and dying painfully. Eventually, we got past the Syrian biome, and we found a group of people harassing an old lady. I've seen this kind of thing before. It's definitely sex trafficking. So naturally, I covered the assailants in fire grease and immolated them without hesitation. I think they were actually accusing the old woman of being a witch, and once the fight started, she kind of disappeared in a green puff of smoke. So yet again, we may have killed some vaguely innocent people. As I explored further into the wetlands, I rolled for wisdom and realized that this charming little marsh is actually a future fucking bog. Everything in here has been one big illusion. The environment is disgusting. The sheep are actually Australian citizens in disguise, and even the apples that I've been picking up this entire time, fucking poison. Legally, this is so much to learn. So I started searching for the witch in earnest. Eventually, we dragged her down to this shack where she was keeping some young girl prisoner. But for all I know, that's an illusion, and the girl is actually a scarecrow wearing a suicide vest. So I chose to ignore her. After some small talk, the witch offers to remove my brain parasite in exchange for keeping my eyeball. Listen closely when I say this is the face of a woman you can trust. Oh, never mind. She just stole my eyeball and ran into a secret ladies' masks. You may be wondering if the killing of innocent people posed a moral dilemma to me. Clearly, it did not. Between both dramatic melee attacks, and for the last one, we got over the ghost that was so funny, she doubled over in laughter. She was laughing so hard she didn't even notice when Gale summoned a magma ball on her head. Magma ball also rolled in Shadowheart and obliterated life prior to this moment, because these platforms are trapped, and if you let the AI attempt to navigate them, it goes like this. Anyway, after manually piloting each character through the traps, we had finally caught up to the witch. It looks like she has a hostage dangling precariously in this cage. I don't really care about that at all, but if I'm going to kill the witch anyway, I may as well pretend to be the good guy. We attempted to sneak over to the control panel and release the hostage, but the witch caught us and lit her on fire. I suppose I'm not very good at this whole hero thing. The witch started the fight by creating several illusions of herself. It's not obvious which one is real because they each hit very hard. However, the illusions disappear with even a small amount of damage, so I spent the next few turns throwing pots and pans at them until only one remained. I lit her on fire, bludgeoned her, and attempted to give her mesothelioma, but she just wouldn't give up. In fact, at one point, she even disguised herself as a hostage and forced us to guess who was the imposter. I am proud to announce that I guessed correctly on the second try. After another 10 turns of shooting her with crossbows and dousing her with acid, she started begging for her life. She offered to imbue me with great power if I let her live. I considered this briefly, and then remembered this lady stole my eyeball, and so I decided to kill her. After battling a demon for 35 minutes, I was expecting a little gratitude from the hostage. Instead, she screamed at us and called me selfish. This was the final straw. I had Lae'zel introduce her to Rodney, and when that didn't work, I hit her for 200% of her maximum health. I wasn't even happy about it. Exactly 0% of this entire quest has been cathartic or enjoyable, and I'm missing a fucking eyeball. The only thing that can cheer me up now is to commit the ultimate illusion by betraying my tiefling friends. So let's go. We arrive at the tiefling village to find our friends preparing for the final battle. These poor saps really have no idea they're about to be on the receiving end of my greatest illusion yet. I walk up and sound the battle horn to initiate the final conflict. Goblins, spiders, and all manner of creatures storm the field. Shortly after, Mintara arrives and gives me the signal to betray the tieflings and open the gate, which is when it hits me. What could be a better illusion than double-crossing your friends? Why, double-crossing the people who you were going to double-cross your friends for, thereby quadruple-crossing the entire situation and ending up exactly where you started in the first place. It's genius. I'm going to betray Mintara. She told me to slit the tieflings' throats. I called her a bitch, and the battle was on. Thankfully, I made some preparations for this event. You see, I spent about 30 minutes collecting barrels and barricading our position. The side entrance is now far less accessible. The main gate is reinforced with a collection of chests under the command of Rodney, and I've also created a siege tower to allow Rubak to oversee the entire fight from a strategic advantage. This was nice and all, but perhaps most importantly, I've covered the battlefield with explosive barrels, and the goblins have walked right into my trap. All we need now is one little star. Oh, and look at that. Shadowheart is casting fireball. The initial explosion cleared out 4 or 5 enemies, but the high-level threats such as spiders, ogres, and suicide bombers are still alive. They started chanting their war cries and buffing each other. In response, I had Rubak use some potions I found at the witch's shack. This one gives you rabies for 10 turns. This one gives you intense schizophrenic hallucinations, and this one gives you hemorrhoids. Simply terrifying. Anyway, I started throwing these potions at our enemies, which caused infighting to break out among their ranks. Our defenses were holding up so far, but the spiders started scaling our walls and devouring our defenders. Aside from this, the goblins were spamming us with casts of acid, and even worse, their suicide bombers were getting dangerously dangerously close for Rodney. In response to this, I have Rubat use an enlarging spell on Lae'zel, increasing her size by about 50% and allowing her to absolutely decimate the first spider. And just in time, because the second one has jumped over our wall and started fatally rearranging Gales and Maddie. Luckily, he was able to thunder wave the Arachnid to an early demise. But around this time, the Goblin Sappers committed a truly despicable crime by blowing themselves up and taking Rodney with them. This is a moment I may never truly recover from, but I can use it to justify a lot of violence. So let's get to it. Nukara began healing her troops, and the Goblins started pouring through the gates and climbing up to our platform. Our Tiefling allies were doing their best to hold them off, but it was all for naught when Nukara herself joined the fight and began pounding the shit out of us. That's when I knew it was time. Rubat blew the Warhorn and summoned a group of ogres to our aid. This was fantastic because they started beating the Goblins to death. However, they also started beating the Tieflings to death, which caused them to become hostile to us. I did not anticipate this development. I had Lae'zel put the Tieflings down quickly, and we focused our attention on Nukara. After several turns of blinding her, beating her, and strategically throwing poison apples at her mouth, Gale eventually took her down with an ice bolt. The fight is finally over, and honestly, I'm impressed. We were allied to one team, then to another, then back to the original team, only to halfway through change to a third team and kill everyone else. I must say, that was an illusion even I didn't see coming. And as I stand here looking over the burning battlefield and charred corpses of several people I once considered friends, I am reminded that there are no friends, only experience points. And with that, Rubat's journey has come to a close. Will he ever remove his brain parasite and avoid an excruciating death? Probably not. Thanks for watching.
So many great recommendations.
Yeah, RTB serves up the best options from all my apps in one place. It just gets what I'm into.
Interesting.
Get into more of what you're into with Fire TV.
My AirPods are picking in your house today. Perhaps this is very suited to r/home defense system because hey, we had a strange knock on the door. We didn't answer, but I'm not ready to pay back enough yet. When we still didn't answer, we got the goods. Simply lost their AirPod this way, and now they were showing how tight the iPhone in the house. It looked like from the camera they may have done the same thing to our neighbor. My understanding is this is a somewhat common scam where they're trying to either extort money or the opportunity to see it inside the home. I guess next time they get back there, we can see what we got the goods. We have a mess for though. I think we need to speak here and say something about your AirPods. I'm not here. Please, so sorry to hear that. They're not here. Come back to the money phone officer and use discuss later. You know what? You notice that these transactions you'd like to go over with you. Click this link should be linked to review them. Nobody's nuts. My name Mara. Very nice. How much? Nice to meet you, Mara. I'm Alice. I'm not sure if I talked to you before, so I texted you. All of my contacts in the place, please. You have husband or son for sale. I don't know who you mean, then where are you from? 65, and after I let you use your open trouble now, are you Jew? Or I'm from Hashtag greatest country on earth. Email text saying you found my lost pet. I lost my cat last week. First reply online around my neighborhood. I only contact once on a copy of scammer, but I got this text making email address. That's like mine, but the image is so low quality, it's like a bell. I have other specials. There are results. Soon mentioned that around my house, my house. So it's legit. Yo, what's up? Are you on that? Want to go back? Yes. The medicine to me. Send it to police. Yeah, sure. She found a long blank. Well, I'm not at home right now, but I can ask my real friends to get up to you if you're ready to pick it up. Okay, so it's either scam or evil person. Either way, still no cash. I couldn't make out. It's really great. My whole band waited and then got these texts. Also just reversing the search. The second photo we sent in direct interest. Healing home carrier. Hello, are you there? Oh, is there? I'm here. Hello, I don't see it. I have 3 minutes. Oh, I thought you. Seems like you have a request. Hold up, you haven't said anything about the reward yet. Hey, you gonna compensate for the food and taking care of? Oh shit, like what a piece of shit. What an actual piece of human filth. Like taking advantage of situations like that when they lost a pet, and you're like, oh yeah, we found your pet. Well, I mean, you're gonna pay us, right? Go fuck yourself. I think my dad is getting scammed. So last month, my family and I went to Italy. When we were in Rome, my dad got his phone while it sold. We called our cell carrier and got a new one sent to him. And they also said they would completely erase the device. This guy's telling us he has my dad's phone. But if we the device to erase it, is this a scam if we remove the device? He says he has all my dad's information. No, I bought an iPhone 15. I'm using it. I have your messages, emails, cards, banknotes, and personal information on it. Even your SIM number. But transfer. I get your calls. There's no links to each page. It's like the most requested payment work is connected on Wi-Fi in China. And not jailbreak and still saying it won't erase remotely. I'm telling you this because the phone is the only option on the laptop with personal information and everything about it. All your phones, your phone number, address, phone, blah 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 blah. Remove looks like this, and I'll do reset it. The phone is quick as it is. It's possible in order to have your father with your device and your phone. This person has no way. Straight up. It's just why would you do this? That's to help you realize what's happening. My wife is ordering from Walmart. I'm using some sources to build performance. So I really only eSIM in the US, right? In the UK, we don't have T-Mobile. BASO, I'm invested. It's currently 4:55 a.m. Morning, so no support for over 36 years of skills on my phone. All right, I kind of really want to know what a piss cam kitchen is. My cat Luna likes to piss on the metal draining board, so we have a camera set up in there to see when she does it. For reference, this is Luna, and she gives no. Apple lets you carry your push new eSIM to a phone with just an IMEI number. Someone made a typo and entered your NIEI by mistake. They probably wondered why they never got their eSIM and already corrected it. No one can steal your information. I really hate people. Aw, so cute. All right, I can try to do an ocean background. Okay, good. Is $200 okay for the payment? Sorry for the low budget. Oh my god, sorry for the shop, but wow, 200? You seriously have no idea how much this means. Oh my god. Good. Do you have PayPal? Yes, I'll link it. Send me your PayPal email for the payment. You don't need my email, and you don't have $200, do you? Man, you're from. Long story short, I'm a disabled plus recently graduated high school student with no source of income. I do art for a living, and it's one of my only sources of comfort. I want to use it right. Instead of feeling like I'm asked for permission about this stuff. They gave me references, told me what they wanted, all was going well, and then they asked for my PayPal. That was the moment they said, I didn't trust it, so I wanted to see my last request. I really have no money if I do that. So just people suck so much. Yeah, I also asked for like this. It's confusing to me because you get someone's PayPal email for payment, right? That's what I've always done. They want your email so they can send you a fake payment email, but you can also pay someone through PayPal using your email, but in this case, go to your account. Even if it's a legit buyer, don't go through anything until the money is actually in your account. Don't trust any email receipt. Yeah, I'm a little perplexed by this one, why they immediately thought, something seemed right about this, because asking for your PayPal email for a payment is very normal. But yeah, obviously this person just left it on red. Definitely wasn't legit. But yeah, my dad thinks he's dating with Jennifer Aniston. My 36 male dad is 71 male, just got divorced from my now ex-stepmother. I believe the divorce was in part due to this hoax of a relationship. We'll call the fake Jennifer Aniston with J.A. moving forward. So yeah, that J.A. from Facebook, the real celebrity Jennifer Aniston, doesn't have a personal Facebook account. They quickly got my dad to download a secure app, but I believe to be Telegram. But my father is told not to tell anyone because of a potential scandal that could occur in the news. He's been talking to the scammer for over a year now and states he has sent video and pictures glued to his They have supposedly video chatting too. Now, my dad is not a good looking man. He spent the last 50 years smoking a pack of cigarettes a day and drinking at least 2 liters of soda. He has bad knees, bad hips, and is a true conservative group. I know he's delusional. My siblings and my wife have all told him it's a scam. At my best, I work in the scam and security department for a major IT provider, and no full well the end goal is to get my dad some money for insert vague money scheme. I was assuming they're using deep fake AI's videos of it. No, this is there some way that I can expose the scam. I told him to ask the scammer to write his name and date on their hand to take a picture, thinking that would disprove that they are real if they were genuine. But my dad refused to insult his lovely J.A. We didn't speak on how to get him to see this as what it is. Is he too delusional to recognize the red flags? I thought of contacting the real Jennifer Aniston, but that's not likely. We're aiming for a I know this scenario falls into guidelines for elder abuse. Only the family is doing the relationship. But I've got one case to prove this just like myself. I don't have a man that can manage his life. My siblings are equally, if not more, busy trying to survive this wild ride. The cherry on top of all this is that my dad has no money. He is still my calling home to go have a chunk of money soon, but he absolutely cannot get scammed out about maybe his last chance at financial security. What a maddening scenario. He was a superhero. Old age, 2 strokes, 2 heart attacks, really messed up. Thank you for making all of it. Scam versus a YouTube channel that literally has an episode about an old man thinking he's dating Jennifer Aniston. You are too. I'll make up right here. Thank you. Hell, I'm James Sheffield with Metallic. My guitar broke. I need $2,000. Send my PayPal. I don't know you're in here, James Sheffield. Beautiful, you got a Jabba. Yeah, that's my favorite time. I don't know how they just use the floating night model picture. Hi, do this. I'm Jennifer. Excuse me, this is Mary's number, right? Incorrect. Oh, sorry, I thought you were my friend. I'm really so sorry. Hope I didn't bother you. No, thank you. I think you're a polite person. I don't know what's your name. Jesus, I shall forgive you for your sins. Nice to meet you, Jesus. You are a good person. I'm Jennifer living in my head. Where are you texting from? Nazareth. Nazareth is a beautiful place. I'm supposed to go there. I will let you know when I'm around there. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'm 35. Maybe we can be friends. 36. That's a nice age. Jesus, can we share a picture with each other? This means.
Good evening. Which part do you want to modify this time?
It's about time. Let's finish this.
This week, amen. Well, they don't. BetFA charged $396 to my account. Jesus, yeah, $18. Endless. Typical Friday, waking up in community work. Check my account as I have splits through this time. Total of $22, $18 purchases, $396. Into BetFA. Check my app, but contact first.
I got plenty of new ideas. Try them out on EOS, one by one.
Not enough Skype Star Friday. Has anyone else ever figured out what to this? Do you have any idea how this can happen? Or anyway, what moving forward? If you swipe it back and skip forward, type part of it to a website anywhere. Gas stations and drive-thru, the only place I physically use the card. I'm thinking I use the street gas. I'm not got seen in one of those places. You should be able to get your money back since it's not you who made those purchases. Person dropped this at my house today. Is this a scam? I tried to drop this around my house today. Make it all and we have a brief chat. This is nice stuff. As you can see from the letter, he was requesting that I pass on the letters to him, which he expects to arrive sometime next week. He stated he lived here 3 years ago, which does match up with when I moved in. His name is not actually named as previously. Letters, newsletters, and personal business. If it was to be a scam, I'm not entirely sure what he was.
I got plenty of new ideas. Try them out on EOS, one by one. Got any questions?
Your assistance in this matter will be analyzed. Please feel free to contact me at your earliest convenience. Phone number down below. And we can make arrangements for retrieval of documents. My contact number is Skype. You can get in touch also via WhatsApp, Viber, or simple messages. Thank you very much for your understanding and cooperation. Sincerely, Paul. I'll bring that letter to the post office post-haste and let them know that you may have to reach out to be part of a real scam so they can take whatever steps they can to investigate and or re-rectify this back to the original sentence. You don't need to know this. I wonder if they are information. But wait, Francis Sanders and his sweet daughter George Stewart gave the scammer an honest review. Scam review. So, your son was weird, but persistent. A pseudo scammer. Come on, everybody understands immediately that it was a scam. But who knows? Maybe this is a girl that
welcome in. What mods are you going for this time?
German and Australian, though you cannot speak German. Your English is so going to the average French person will sign for you. The pictures that you use with no concept pretty well when you saw pictures. It's kind of a little bit ideas more fast. You are an entrepreneur, you are incapable of telling what your so-called company does. That's right, that no one person gives a shit. I'm going to go to the same shithole called the bottom. But your IP address is blocked because of no particular reason. Maybe it might help to log in via the serial website. Yeah, I see friend that you call this bullshit. My phone is probably
got any questions? Come find me anytime. I'll be here.
Yourself and I hope you choke on bad bits. I don't understand. Then put it in your translation.
If you need help, call me anytime. A mission? Take me along.
You would not tell me how you're ninja, but I finally got him to tell. Your reach him his wallet and pull out this janky looking ATM card with a Facebook logo on the front. He suddenly wants to learn how to use Cash App. He's already paid a fee for the card itself and a fee to have it transferred to work in our ATMs because it's set to the last code. Good news about this one. Next, he has to pay $2,600 in taxes. I tried to calmly explain that this isn't real. I showed him videos and articles verifying that it's a scam. I don't think he believes me. He thinks he's going to be able to pull thousands out using this card in the coming weeks. Is there anything I